guys, how's it going? Marcelo here.
And Weston.
And welcome to another episode of Trash Talk.
Yeah.
5.
Oh.
So, for the first time now, we're finally getting into a reboot, and that reboot is...
Tomb Raider.
There's 2 of them. So we have 2 copies here.
And the reason why is because I need a PS4 version, so I borrowed it from Caleb, and he needed a PS3 version, so he borrowed that one from me.
Yeah. With that being said, it's pretty funny. You beat the game.
Yes, that is true. I actually did beat it.
I didn't think you would. I thought you
I didn't
want to
like... Yeah. I didn't 100% complete it, but I played through the main story.
I have not beaten it yet.
So yeah, I was also pretty surprised that he didn't actually complete a game.
So there's that.
So
we got 2 copies there,
yeah,
which we'll, when we get to the box art and the aesthetics, we'll actually kind of take a look at both of them.
Yeah.
But with that being said, on to the summary. So this game was made by Crystal Dynamics and Square Enix, but it came out March 5th, 2013. And this is actually not the first Tomb Raider reboot. The first reboot was called Tomb Raider Legend, and its sequel, which came out in 2008, was supposed to get another sequel. So it was going to be a trilogy of this new rebooted Tomb Raider. That's what this game started out as. Eventually they just said, let's retell Lara Croft's origins, and we have Tomb Raider. That's about it. So I find that really strange that they were going to make a sequel to the first reboot, and then just became its own other reboot. It's kind of a weird story of how that happened.
Speaking of story,
here we go.
Alright, so
nice
we all know that Lara Croft's a badass. Well, this is the story of how she became a badass. Like, no, before she became the Lara Croft that we all know and love.
Yeah.
And so the story behind it is her and her crew on the HMS, whatever it's called, are looking for this lost tomb of Queen Yumiko, I believe. We'll have it right here because it's something Japanese, aka the Sun Queen, on an island, on a fictional island called Yamatai, in the Dragon's Triangle near the coast of Japan, and they're looking for some lost treasure and all that. And so her and her crew go there, and pretty much their crew crashes and all that, and pretty much they're trying to get off the island. And along their adventures, Lara Croft stumbles upon this cult known as the Solari Brotherhood, who worships the dead queen, and pretty much just wants them dead for some reason, and wants to reborn their queen. And throughout her adventures, Lara Croft had to save her crew. Some of them die, some of them not, and then she learns how to become a badass.
Yeah, so it's basically, it basically just tells the overall theme is her just being like an amateur archer and all that, and trying to defeat all these guys and growing and from experience, gaining that experience that she just kind of has within the first Tomb Raider.
So yeah, starting out as kind of like a timid young woman into a badass heroine, ready to save the day with her arrow and shit.
Pretty much.
She's gonna go Green Arrow on those bitches.
I want to also say right off the bat before we get to gameplay, which will actually kind of factor sort of into gameplay. A lot of people compare this reboot to the likes of Uncharted, and doesn't really feel like that to us anyway. Do you feel like it kind of?
In some respects, I could see how they could compare the two. I mean, they're pretty much third-person shooter-based games with some explorative stuff. I could see how they made the comparison of that, because both of them kind of cover the same themes.
It was either this reboot was compared to Uncharted, or Uncharted was compared to Tomb Raider in general. I think to the point where they nicknamed Uncharted Dude Raider, just as like a little parody. Hey, it's kind of like Tomb Raider, but not. But anyway, they do have their own different feels. So yeah, I'm not just saying that because it's Naughty Dog. I'm just saying that because as a game,
well, the difference is, well, talking about gameplay.
Yeah.
Mostly Tomb Raider is more kind of stealth-based. You can go guns blazing, but it has more stealth elements in it compared to Uncharted.
Yeah.
So that's where the difference is.
Because Uncharted's not you taking... It's you taking cover instead of really... Only certain areas make you get a little stealthy, but otherwise you're taking cover from the guys. Whereas in here, it's straight up stealth.
Yeah.
So
if anything, what people should have said about Tomb Raider, it's the spawn of Assassin's Creed and Uncharted. That would be a more fair comparison.
Nice.
That would be a more fair comparison of what this game basically is.
So
with that, let's go over the gameplay. Pretty much, as I would say it, it's kind of like it's not unholy because it's not god awful, but it's more of like, it's kind of just more of it's the fair spawn of Assassin's Creed and Uncharted, using some of the gameplay elements and climbing of Uncharted, along with the stealth of Assassin's Creed.
the thing I like about it is that they teach you certain things. Of course, thankfully, as a good game should do, not a whole lot of tutorials are really placed. I think text might pop up every now and again.
Yeah.
But that's fine, because that's all it is. It's not like it stops you and goes, no, this is what you need to do. You need to burn the thing, and then no. You learn it by taking a look at the level design, the layout, how things look. But one thing you could do is use her like, what's it called, the sense, where you
the sense. That's an Assassin's Creed thing right there. Just like using your eagle sense or your survival instinct.
Yeah, okay. I was trying to remember what it was called. So if you don't exactly know what you're supposed to be doing, they do give you kind of hints there. Now, they never tell you that you can use it. Well, no, they do tell you can use it, but you don't always have to use it. But if you're truly, utterly stuck and you don't really know what to do, you can use that with, like, what, I think it's the R2 button.
Yeah.
And everything goes black and white except for whatever the objects or things are that you're supposed to be using.
Yeah, which they'll glow yellow, yeah.
Yeah.
And then plus, if you walk up to certain objects, like the little crates and that stuff, then like little traps and all that, it will give you like a little icon saying that, oh yes, you can totally burn this thing.
Ah, yeah.
So they do leave little icons everywhere, like if you
that's fine.
That's fine. They kind of just like, oh, hey, I can climb on this. Cool.
Yeah. What I also like about it, real quick, I want to say as well, is there are areas where you think you can interact with it, because if you use the sense, the instinct, it'll show you that you can, but maybe you don't have the right thing yet. Well, there's the incentive to explore, which leads you to finding objects and doing other things, so you can go back later and interact with that thing. Because I found that out with the claw climbing thing.
Yeah, the climbing tool.
Yeah. So you know how there was those like shacks that were hanging and everything, and there was those white areas, and you can climb on them, but you can't right when you get there. So you have to find that object and that item, and then you can. So it's kind of cool that they show you, here's where you gotta go, but you can't do it yet. So
yeah, and then now time to talk about weaponry. You have 4 weapons in the game. You have a pistol, you have a bow. The bow is gonna be the thing that you use the most.
Yeah.
As a tool more than as a weapon. You can use it for stealth kills, but mostly it helps you in getting around to certain places or getting hard to reach objects.
Yeah.
Then there's then there's the pistol, and then the pistol is probably going to be your main weapon. You'll probably get the most bullets for that one.
For ambushes and stuff.
For ambushes, yeah, and then you could get quick headshots on that, unless the enemies are armored up. Then you also get a assault rifle, in which once you upgrade it to get like a grenade launcher, that'll help you get into hard to get into areas or access shortcuts.
Is there an incentive to upgrade? Because I know about the upgrading system. I never used it.
There could be an incentive to use.
You have to use it.
To get to certain areas and to access the tombs, you might need to upgrade your weapons. Okay. And then the shotgun's a good short range weapon. That's the final weapon you get. And in certain areas, it allows you to get past certain objects by just like blasting it.
Okay.
So pretty much all the weapons, they kind of require you to use all of them at certain times, and then you will run out of ammo on occasion, and that did happen to me quite a bit. I did run out of ammo, and so like once that happens, like you can switch your other guns and all that.
You also just kind of find ammo crates, I think, in general. You can also take from the people you kill.
Yeah, once you upgrade like certain parts, like there's 3 little different areas where you can upgrade your character with your skill points, and you earn this by just like doing stuff in the game and all that. and then like, ooh, you got a skill point. You can upgrade one of your skills, allowing you to use quick kills. So instead of just doing like a quick time event and shit, you could just like, oh, I can just automatically kill this guy and all that. Oh. And then also allowing you to pick up ammo and stuff and getting salvage from corpses and all that.
Yeah.
So that allows you to do stuff. And there's really no real incentive to, like, oh, I have to use this one right now. You can just put it whatever you want and it'll help you out.
So in short, the gameplay is actually really fun. And here's the thing, because people people tend to get confused when I say I don't like shooters. First and foremost, this is not so much of a straight-on shooter. It's a third-person shooter / third-person action game. So there's the exploration and even some platforming in this game. And that's what I like the most. But when the shooting comes in, I find that it is actually kind of fun. So, I mean, it's not like I just hate any game that has the shooting segments in it. It's not like that at all. But with the shooting, it actually, I never really missed all that much. You know, I'm still not that good at aiming, but, you know, and getting them dead on accurate. But I got the job done. I progressed pretty far into the game, so
yeah,
it's fun.
The only problem that I'm going to have on this game is the quick time events. The quick time events come in, they don't come in a lot of the time, but when they do, I don't know why they decided to do this, but it's always triangle. It's always triangle, and then if you fail like a certain part of the quick time event, you have to start it all over again.
Can I say something about that? You already know what I'm leading up to with this. Okay, so there's this one part, in general, I don't like quick time events, but in this game, not all of them were really, they didn't feel like they came out of nowhere so much, even though there were times where it's a cutscene, and if it's in, the way you can tell that there could be one, of course, is when the cutscenes are done in real time, and they're not pre-rendered, so you can usually kind of tell when one's about to happen, so it doesn't really come out of nowhere. But one particular one that for some reason I could not hit the button right is the one scene where she's hiding from those guys, and they find her, and they tie her hands behind her back, and then they start advancing on her, and you have to start kicking the dude's ass, right?
Yeah.
With like your knees and shit. But they want you to start that off by going, and then the circle goes, and triangle. And for the life of me, I could not do it.
Yeah,
I don't know why.
No, I just kind of screwed up on that one, too.
That particular one?
Yeah, that one a little bit.
I don't know
that was
why.
like that kind of like one of the first implementations of the QuickTime event. And then, sadly, the way you take down bigger enemies is through QuickTime events. And then the final boss is nothing but a QuickTime event flurry. So that's
serious?
Yes. Oh. That's the only thing that I kind of don't like about the gameplay is when the quick time events come.
That's not.
But they are far and few between. They don't happen a lot of the time, so the game's just not a press triangle to win.
Yeah.
Except for the final boss fight, in which
that kind of is.
Kind of is mixed with the shooting buttons, because then you go all like, I got 2 pistols, and you're shooting the guy off.
Shame.
Yeah, so
sounds underwhelming.
Yeah, it pretty much was.
Wow.
Other than that, the gameplay was actually kind of fun.
It was.
There's a lot of stuff to do. Again, you do look for tombs and all that help you upgrade and get you more skill points and all that. So, but again, you do need certain things in order to access those, just do those. Yeah. So they're a fun little side quest thing to do, as well as mission objectives like hunt wolves or hunt animals and all that stuff.
For me as a gamer who grew up on the games that kind of more straightforward, get from point A to point B and just go up to the villain and kick their ass. Yeah. I probably wouldn't take on a whole lot of them if they didn't really reward me handsomely. So like if it just kind of was like, get some, I guess, whatever and salvage another ammo and weapons. But if they don't really benefit me in the long run, then I probably wouldn't really care to do them. So far, if there were any missions that came up as I was playing from near the beginning of the game, I haven't taken on much of those really.
Yeah.
So
at that's our opinion on the gameplay. Overall, pretty good. Wish it was a little bit better and
just an event's scary.
Quick, we're tired of that trope.
Onto the aesthetics now. Yeah.
All right. So now let's look at the box cover. We do have two different box covers. So this one is the original box cover for the PS3 version. And then here's the back.
It's dark and gritty reboot. We kind of, if you haven't played this, kind of forgot to mention that, but it's okay. And there's not a whole lot to look at from this box art alone. It's just her standing there in a cave in the rain, the tomb in the rain. But the PS4 version.
The PS4 version does
a little more
going on. Like, she's doing an action shot with her bow and arrow, and she's ready to fire it. And then on the back, we have stuff right here. And the text on the back is short and
it seems. Let me see the back real quick. Oh yeah, there's a lot more going on even there than there is on here. So
yeah, there's a lot less text and all that. One quote that kind of threw us off guard on this one was this one right here, in which you guys can't read it, but it says an obsessively detailed Laura.
I don't know what that means.
I don't know what that means either, but I don't want to use the word obsessively because that just kind of sounds weird.
I want to know who thought of that and thought that would sound good on the
I
back
mean,
of the box.
if it said like an incredibly detailed Laura, that would get your point across, but obsessively detailed, that
sounds weird.
It sounds like, okay, the guy that was doing this was way too into it. Out there.
I don't know.
So, for your graphic designer of the box, I want to go with a different quote there.
About the game's aesthetics in general.
They were going, another thing that they were kind of showing off was like a stunningly lifelike world. And for the most part, the game is really highly detailed. It looks very realistic. There's some dirt particles and all that.
There's all kind of stuff, yeah.
And as
to show she's been through some shit.
Yeah, so. And then all that. So the game models Laura pretty well.
Yeah.
So Laura's
maybe that's
model
what they meant.
Yeah,
Obsessively detailed.
Yeah. So Laura's model looks really good, and just like the models of the characters in general, they look kind of good. They look really good.
They do look good.
Yeah.
For the PS3 version, it's a PS3 game, so it looks like it would on a PS3.
Yeah.
It's up there with Uncharted and Last of Us in terms of really good-looking PS3 games.
So yeah, the world does really look really nice.
With the definitive version, since it's basically a port, didn't they HD it up more?
Yeah, they did. They made the world look a lot better.
There's probably comparison videos and such showing.
Yeah,
So, jungle themes abound since they're pretty much stuck on an island. It's like Uncharted. But anyway, I love jungle themes. I love obviously because we've got Crash, we've got Jak and Daxter, Uncharted, and in the vein of those. So with this being on an island, I just love that aesthetic, and I enjoyed it. So it's a nice dark gritty take. And this is the only time you're probably going to hear me say that dark and gritty is nice for this, but I believed it. It didn't feel like it was just dark and gritty for the sake of being dark and gritty like every other game. There was a reason that there's bad people, there's dangerous people on this island, there's all kinds of conspiracy stuff happening on this island. So and she's an experience, so it makes sense for it to be as dark and gritty as it is.
They kind of open her eyes and just kept like, whoa, I had to be kind of more adult about this world or else it's going to kill me. So now let's talk about the soundtrack. And the soundtrack is what you would expect out of a game like this. It kind of has like that islandy, oriental kind of feel.
Yeah.
Using cymbals and all that, and just like kind of oriental instruments.
It's very like cinematic, instrumental sounding. So.
Yeah, and then like for the stealth sections, it kind of just sounds like you're going through a stealth section. And it's just like, ba-doo.
Yeah. In terms of it being memorable, I don't think it's
not
very
really
memorable.
It's not very memorable. It's more, it kind of just helps you kind of go along. It just kind of helps a theme. But as a standalone track, it's probably not too impressive.
It's unique because it's not all just instrumental, cinematic, orchestral kind of. It's got its, how he was saying, oriental themes. It's got its woodland kind of themes. So it stands out in that sense, but in the sense of...
It's good mood music for when you're going around the game, but as a standalone, it's definitely not.
It's not one you would recall off the bat while trying to remember your favorite
like
soundtrack.
the Uncharted theme, the main theme is something you would like remember like that.
Yeah.
A lot of the themes from other games that I played, like Bloodborne, I can remember right off the bat. So...
But again, it's not bad. It's
not bad. it's just not that memorable. It just fills in that place.
Yeah.
So with
it
that,
fits.
Yeah. So with that,
Characters.
yeah. So for the characters, they were kind of alright. Like Lara Croft was really done really well. The other characters, though, they were kind of just.
They were just kind of there, weren't they?
They're kind of there, yeah.
I didn't even come across a lot of most of them. I only came across some of them.
They're not really that memorable. Whitman, he's kind of just your stereotypical like douchebag that turns traitor and kind of screws over everybody just for like fame. Because he's a famous TV archaeologist, so he's kind of a dick. And then we have Alex, in which he's kind of a nerdy guy.
Yeah.
He's kind of just like quirky, nerdy guy.
It's your typical like ragtag team of misfits almost. Except they're not really misfits, but they just fit those stereotypes, I guess.
Yeah, and then Jocelyn, she's a mechanic, and she's that no sass black woman.
Yeah. No sass black. Nice.
Yeah, so she kind of just, they're all kind of stereotypical, and then they're not really memorable. They're just kind of there, just to be there. Lara Croft was done really well. I think she kind of stand out.
Since she's the main character.
Yeah, she grows the most. So as a character, she was really good.
I do want to say though that in those pre-rendered cutscenes, I do like when they do go over in the beginning, because I don't know how the story progresses since I haven't beaten it near the end. But when they start showing you what they were doing before they got stranded on the island and all that. So the backstory through the video camera, it was actually kind of cool. Not too memorable from what I remember how they were, but it was nice to see that they did interact. Yeah. And they got into shit. They talked to each other. They talked smack. They messed around. That's actually kind of cool to see. So it does make them feel like real people, not even just characters, but people. So that was kind of cool. But in terms of them as their own character and just own person,
they're not really that unique or memorable in that regard. So with that, besides from Lara Croft, she was done really well. The other characters were just kind of there.
Let's talk about the one guy we mentioned before we started filming. There's a scene where you meet up with one of Lara Croft's friends, and she's met this one other guy. What's his name again?
I forgot his name, but he's the main bad guy.
Yeah, so she messes up her leg, the friend, and this guy, they met up, I guess he found her or something, and he's helping her out. And they build a campfire, and that's just kind of how she meets back up with them. And she's like one of the first people that Lara comes across, that you come across, in the extension as you're playing. And this guy, he's just like, does he ham it up by the end? Is he just full on hammy?
Yeah, he's just like, oh, the great Yamatai! Ah!
Oh my god.
I am so evil.
You see this guy in the beginning, he's like, hello, nice to meet you. And I'm just like, this fucking guy.
Once he becomes the cult leader, he just starts screaming all the time. It's like, you will pay for your sins against Yamatai!
Oh my god, he's really full on General Zod from Man of Steel mode, where he's just shouting and...
More like kind of Lord Palpatine-ish. With this guy, he just screams like his lines and just like does what a cult leader would do. It's like, are you gonna let them desecrate the island? Kill them all! So another story.
That was predictable.
It kind of was predictable. It was like, oh yeah, this guy's a bad guy.
Yeah. It's like, you didn't even try to hide it. It's just like, yeah, something's a little sketchy with him.
Yeah, this guy's gonna be the villain.
So
with that, now we have that.
Oh, I was gonna just kind of
go ahead.
Explain about that.
Yeah.
Notice that for it being a reboot, and that we were planning to do this, we were going to be comparing. So we didn't in this review compare the reboot to the original PS1 Tomb Raider. That's because we don't have it. We didn't get a chance to play the original.
Yeah, because we don't have, we just haven't found it, and we don't have the money to quite get it yet.
We just hadn't,
But by the time of this recording, we don't have the game yet.
So we can't exactly answer the question, how does this game hold up as a reboot to the original?
As its own standalone game, it holds up pretty well.
Yeah. So what we're going to do is this. Come the Arc 5 update video, we will tell you what we think of the original PS1 Tomb Raider game. But in terms of this, final verdict, I'm going to just go ahead and start. I'll give it a 4 out of 5. it's actually really good. I am actually incentivized to play more of it. I think that it's a really good game. As its own beast, it does really well. It can improve in some areas, of course, as we just said. But besides that, I think it's okay.
Yeah, I would give it a 4 out of 5 too. Gameplay-wise, it's really good. Story-wise, it could have been a little bit better. Again, Lara Croft was done really well. The other characters could have been done a bit better and been more memorable, and plus, quick time events just need to stop being a thing. Just
in general,
just
not even in this game, but
gamers don't want to mash buttons to win.
Or even in cutscenes, if you were gonna pull a fast one on us,
don't do that.
Cutscenes are supposed to be the downtime, not.
I know, that's just our break. Not 2 hours of gameplay, and now I can just realize, well, what the hell? Oh!
Yeah, not the get ready, more shit's gonna happen kind of time. It's a downtime.
Just don't do that to us, man. We've already played the game for a few hours now. We just want to relax a little bit and rest our hands before we go into more shit. So stop, and then don't do the automatic fail thing if we don't do a quick time event right. That's a dick move. Stop it. Fucking stop.
That being said, I'm Marcelo.
And I'm Weston.
And we'll see you guys later on the next episode.
And only you can prevent quick time events in video games.